drink a couple of cups of Hawaiian Gardens coffee, and it's going to get really good. It's good. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you or introducing myself, my name is Ernie Hernandez, and I am honored to be this great city's city manager. I put that in my notes, applause, it just didn't happen. So you, our honorable guest today, it's my pleasure to greet you today on behalf of the City Council and our city staff. Thank you for coming out today. So before I ask the mayor to come kick this party off, as the MC today, it's my job to guide you and prepare you for today's event. So I want to warm your hands up. There's going to be a lot of applause today. We have a lot of great things going on in Hawaiian Gardens. So can you please just give yourselves a round of applause for being here today? Very good. I think they're ready for you, Mayor. Yeah, you come up, please. Please welcome our Mayor, Hank Trimble.
How tall are you, Ernie? I thought Mr. Barry Bruce was up here speaking. Thank you and welcome to our State of the City address. I just want to bring up Father McMahon to open us up in prayer. And at the same time, I would like to bring up Miss Hawaiian Gardens Carla Torres, Princess Evangelina Romero, and our beautiful voice, Stacy Valdez Papier. Come up, sir. What we're going to do, we're going to open up with prayer, and then we'll be led in our flag salute by our Miss Hawaiian Gardens, Carla Torres, Princess Evangelina Romero, and then I call her our beautiful voice. Her name is Stacy Valdez Papier, and she will lead us, she will sing for us our national anthem.
I'd like to begin with a little bit of Psalm 127. Unless the Lord build the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guard the city, in vain does the guard keep vigil. In vain for you is to rise early or put off your rest, you that eat hard-earned bread, for he gives to his beloved in sleep. O God, you are the Lord of all the earth, and of this square mile of earth that is Hawaiian Gardens. Thank you for the city in which to work and to live. Your word tells us that unless you build our house, in vain do we labor to build it. Unless you guard our city, in vain do we try to keep it safe. But if we put our trust in you, we will receive what we need, even as we sleep. Provident Father, we turn to you with childlike confidence, asking you to build up and keep safe our city of Hawaiian Gardens. Strengthen its leaders, bless its citizens, embrace its poor, infirm, and homeless. Let us be your hands, feet, and heart to help them. We trust in you to build up our city in all its human richness. Through your Son, Christ our Lord. Amen. And maybe we should bless the food too. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. If you'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and put your right hand over your heart. Awesome. Ready? Begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, city, can you
gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we've watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
You clapped a little too soon. Because I wanted to thank this dynamic group for starting us off in the only way that we know how, and that is in excellence. So can we give a round of applause?
I do want to again recognize our city council members, and if they could just, everybody just, when I call your name, just raise your hand. You don't have to stand up if you don't want, but our mayor, Hank Trimble, Mayor Pro Tem Barry Bruce, and Councilmember Ronaldo Rodriguez. From Janice Hahn's office, we have Linda Johnson over there. Hello. Ursula Parra from Senator Mendoza's office. And Ana Perez from Mendoza's office. Hello. And then, I apologize for the last name. I'm Latino, but I never heard this one, so. Irma Goracino? All right, well, thank you. Irma's from Linda Sanchez's office, Congresswoman Linda Sanchez. And from Assemblymember Speaker Rendon's office is Diana Morales. Thank you. We also have our neighbor, Councilmember Victor Manolo, right here. Thank you, appreciate it. With us today is our city attorney, Noel Tapia. We have our friend from the casino, Keith Sharp. And I saw a couple of you, we have our friends from the media in the room. If you could please just raise your hand. Let's give them a round of applause anyway, I can't find them. But. From the ABC Unified School District, we have President Chris Apodaca, Superintendent Mary Sue, and Assistant Superintendent Valencia Mayfield. I believe I saw Carolyn Reed from our library. Thank you. And from our partner in Celico, we have Miss Yolanda Castro. Thank you. I saw Sal Flores, too, from the bingo club somewhere. I think he already had seconds and left. Oh, there he is. I do want to recognize our partners with the Sheriff's Department, if they could all please be identified. That table there. And our partners with the Fire Department over here. Thank you. If I could please have all our city commissioners in the room stand, please. Thank you. I personally want to thank our city staff. A lot of the good work that happens here is with their assistants, so if city staff can please stand and be recognized. Come on, Joe. Get up. And we have a lot of our business partners in the room. Thank you. There's way too many of you for me to read off, and we're on a very tight schedule according to the mayor gave me very little time. So I want to start, and our residents, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys are very special guys. So let's start with our first speaker, and I apologize. I should have thought of it better when I released the tables for breakfast. I should have gone by the speakers. President Apodaca still has a piece of bacon in his hand, so let's wait, and then we'll have him come up and get this party started. So President Chris Apodaca, please.
As if I didn't get enough of this at the podium in the council chambers, I have to also raise the mic here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Apodaca. I am the president of ABC Unified School District. Before we open up, I want to offer some brief remarks. First off, I'd like to acknowledge and extend our sincere condolences on behalf of the Board of Education and our school district on the passing of Presidente Edgar Gil Yogues, who was the president of Hawaiian Gardens' sister city, who was also a very strong advocate for education and for equality of access to education. And these last couple of years, he was always adamant that we should go down there and visit and see the schools and do an exchange. And he had so many visions for the education system. And it is unfortunate that, his passing, it's unfortunate that he passed. So our sincere condolences to the family, to that community, his constituents, and also to here in the city of Hawaiian Gardens as we mourn his loss. I'd also like to acknowledge what we've done. Let's look at the positive, let's look at the good things that are happening in our district, but specifically in Hawaiian Gardens. We have a collaboration with this city that is unlike any other collaboration we have in our school district. This city, this council, these residents, our community partners, whether they live in the city or not, come to the help and the aid of our schools. They encourage our schools. I can tell you that not only is there a change, but there's a transformation. And that was never more evident than seeing not just students, not just their parents, but our very own superintendent break into tears when Hawaiian elementary students won first place in the Reading Olympics. By the way, and then they won first place in 4 of the 5 categories in the STEM Olympics. Hawaiian Elementary is changing and transforming for the better. Not because of a trustee that has a magic wand, although I wish I did sometimes. Not because we finally got some secret formula right at the school district and it came from on high at the district office and everything's working, but because of each and every one of you in this room, because of our awesome educators who are passionate and dedicated to the education of our students. And, okay, the district staff had something to do with it as well, okay. We have to look at middle school, Artesia High School, and I can go on forever, but I won't, although you already ate, so I guess I could. We are doing amazing things here, and it has been my honor and privilege this last year to serve as president of the board to get to know better, right, what we can do at the district and how we're involved in the community. I wanted to acknowledge also the fact that we believe in transparency and accountability. More than anything, accountability. Because sometimes we don't always catch things. And I want to thank our council, I want to thank members of the community for holding me accountable. Not a Sunday goes by where I don't get a text message or a phone call or an email from someone who either has a suggestion, which are welcome, a complaint, which I'll listen to, sometimes they're welcome, but more than anything, solutions and the ideas from the community. This last year as a school district, we reaffirmed our commitment to every single student and their sacrosanct right, their right to receive a quality public education free of cost in a safe and welcoming school environment. Not only did we reaffirm their right to a quality education, we reaffirmed our right to provide it, free from interference from any outside agencies or any other organization that would interfere, public, private, or what have you, in the education that we provide our students. We take that seriously. And in a very public manner, in a unanimous 7-0 vote, we reaffirmed our commitment to the safety and well-being of our students. That's something that we're very proud of and will remain committed to long after I'm gone. It's just part of our culture at the district. I'd also like to acknowledge the fact that as a school district, we are continuing to look for other ways to not just be efficient, but to be productive and to expand. This year, we inherited, I say we inherited, a $1.7 million deficit, which through planning and strategy, we didn't just resolve the deficit, we expanded curriculum for career and technical education while also creating good-paying union jobs for folks that didn't have them before. That's called innovation, and we're doing it at the district every single day. That said, I'd like to offer a brief overview of our district. I won't go line by line, but this is the makeup. This is what our district is comprised of as far as each city that we serve, and then we have those that are outside of our district. This is all public information. You can also find it on our website as well if you wanted it afterwards. This is our ethnic breakdown. And I'd like to point out that obviously with different cultures and having so many different ethnicities in our district, no two school sites are the same, which is why we're proud that we empower each principal at each school site to manage it according to the needs and the demographics of their school district. So proud of our principals and administrators for the great job that they do in making sure that we accommodate all of our different cultures and ethnicities. 30 schools. That's the breakdown. Approximately 51% are low-income families. Our attendance rate is 97%. That's something you need to know. That's something that you need to be aware of. We are at 97%. A lot of folks say, well, of course you're at 97%. You need funding. It's not about the funding, it's about the education. If kids don't show up to school, they don't learn. They don't learn, they struggle through the rest of their lives. Attendance is big for us. We have English learners, EL reclassification rate, suspension rate, which is going down. We have a 0% expulsion rate. And people wonder, well, why? The answer is very simple. We don't give up on our students. We don't. We're not going to kick them out. A majority of students who have difficulties in academia, it's not because they are not mentally capable. It's because they have things going on at home. And I challenge anyone in this room to say that in Hawaiian Gardens, we don't have some kids that come from some difficult home environments. But we don't give up on them. We'll work with them, we'll work with the parents. If the parents aren't available, we'll find a way. But those kids are going to graduate, they're going to go to school, they're going to learn something, they'll either go to college, a 4-year, 2-year, or they're going to learn a trade. But we don't give up on them. That is why we have a 0% expulsion rate. That said, at this time, that was my portion of it, I'd like to invite not just our superintendent, but our California State Superintendent of the Year by unanimous vote. And I always wonder what she's going to do next year when I'm no longer president. She's going to have a good 3-4 hours free every single day. So without further ado, Dr. Mary Sue, our superintendent.
I do have to lower the microphone. Well, good morning, everybody. It's my absolute great pleasure to join the City of Hawaiian Gardens for their State of the City. And for us in ABC, it's wonderful to be included in this morning event. Because we always think that ABC Unified School District is not just a series or set of schools that are just in the city. We're really of the city. And that's why I love the theme this morning of moving forward together, because I think that, as President Apodaca just said, we have been moving forward together for a number of years, and I think that it has benefited the students and their families in ABC. So there are 3 schools in the trustee area 7. We're divided into 7 trustee areas in ABC, and trustee area 7 includes 3 schools: Ferguson Elementary, Hawaiian Elementary, and Fetty Middle School. And I'm delighted to have our principal of Fetty Middle School also be here today, Mr. Ricardo Lois, who's with us. Ricardo, you want to stand? In addition, it's also very important to know that all of our schools feed into Artesia High School. And Artesia High School's principal, Mr. Sergio Garcia, is also here joining us today, along with the assistant principal, Denise Macias. Thank you so much for coming today to join us. So just a quick overview, because a year ago in October, we had 6 schools who were presenting at the City of Hawaiian Gardens council meeting in October, and we gave a lot of information about what were our goals for the year, and here are some of the things that we set out for ourselves. Some of the other principals are not here today because there's a big Williams audit that's going on, and of course their responsibilities is to their schools first. But we have, for each of the schools, many of them are involved with the PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Intervention Support System. And these are some of the things that they are saying at their schools that are really important. For Hawaiian Elementary, it was safety, smart, ownership, achievement, and respect. And the outcome of all of that is that after going through the PBIS program that you just heard President Apodaca talk about, and that is to really improve the school climate, to improve school discipline, to also have our adults who are working in all of our schools understand what students are coming in with every single day so that they can, in turn, respond appropriately to all the students. Attendance increasing in all of our schools was a huge campaign during the last year. Exercise, movement, is always a big priority for us. STEM, as President Apodaca mentioned, Hawaiian Elementary School had incorporated STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math programs in their schools, and as a result, a lot of their work translated into some of the outcomes, whether it's first place in 4 out of the 5 STEM science Olympics that we had this year, or the Reading Olympics. And again, I do want to thank the City of Hawaiian Gardens for the enormous contribution that they made for Reading Plus at these schools during this year for the last several years so that they can advance in reading in all of our schools. At Ferguson Elementary School, where again, the school has been really focusing on, again, the PBIS, morning fitness, family reading on Friday together, family fitness on Monday. Certainly we have a very robust migrant education program, math, literacy, science nights, PTA, and then just for everybody to also be aware that at Ferguson Elementary School, with the assistance of Valencia Mayfield and the principal, Alejandro Gutierrez, we are starting this year a dual language immersion program, the second dual language immersion program in the district. Nemis has had it for more than 2 decades, but this year we're starting it also at Ferguson Elementary School. So it's a very exciting prospect for us this year. At Fetty Middle School, you'll see a number of those logos. It's important to have you understand what those mean. The farthest one on the right, 2 years ago, Fetty Middle School was selected as a national model middle school, schools to watch. That's incredible that we have all 5 of our middle schools in ABC have been selected as a national model middle school in the Schools to Watch program. So congratulations to Feddy Middle School. Some of that has been as a result of many of the programs that they've had in place, the Feddy Excels, their Breakfast Club, Project Lead the Way, the AVID program. AVID is a long acronym that stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. It's really about getting our students college ready and prepared. World language, where every student is learning Spanish, and then certainly the outreach to the community to make sure that we have the attendance rate that President Apodaca mentioned earlier at 97%. It's higher in almost all of these schools as a result where they've been able to increase attendance rate at each of these schools. And finally, at Artesia High School, I do want to just spend a couple of seconds, because if you have not heard of the book called Schools That Succeed, again, I'm going to repeat it, Schools That Succeed. There's only about 8 schools in the country that the author, Karen Chenoweth, who is a journalist with the Huffington Post, she wrote a book this year and identified schools that succeed. Artesia High School's one of those schools. That's incredible. And the reason why is that with all of the challenges that the school has had to go through, it's been a distinguished school, it's also been a California Gold Ribbon school, and many of the things that's being highlighted, here are some of the indicators. Now, I like to put up the graduation rate because I know that Artesia High School this year is at 99%, 99%. Our students are graduating on time. Once they come into the school 4 years later, they're graduating on time. Here's another fact that you all need to know. 85% of the students are in college today. 85%. And finally, certainly, we all want to make sure that students are able to afford going to college because of the high rate and high cost of college. And look at what's happened at Artesia during this last 2 years. $3.9 million a year ago. Just this year for the class of 2017, it's $5.7 million. So congratulations, Artesia High School. I do, again, wanted to just briefly go over some of the accomplishments of our schools, but also recognize that it could not be done without the City of Hawaiian Gardens' support, their help, and their collaboration as we move forward together. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time.
All good news today. Next, please welcome Chief Nick Duvally.
First off, I'd like to thank the city for inviting the fire department to be part of this presentation. I've been involved in many of these State of the City events over the last 8 years. The first time I've been asked to speak at one. So I think it gives us that ability to profile what the fire department's doing, and it shows and demonstrates the collaboration and the partnership we have between the city and the fire department. For many decades now, the fire department has been a contractor to the City of Hawaiian Gardens. And I think we've demonstrated over that period of time that that partnership really works. And we're happy to be part of that partnership. In attendance today, we've got Engine 34, which is the dedicated fire station to the City of Hawaiian Gardens. Thank you for that. Now, they didn't just come because they got a free breakfast. And now that they've got the free breakfast, if they get up and leave, it's not because they've had the breakfast. They're on call, so they may have to get up and leave at any point in time. So Fire Station 34 is dedicated to the City of Hawaiian Gardens, but in case we have the larger scale emergency, we have all of our other fire stations locally in the cities of Artesia, Cerritos, Lakewood. That equipment would come down and help out. I'm happy to say that over the course of the last year, we have not had any of those events where we need to include all those other resources. So that's the good thing, and I'm not sure if that's because our Fire Prevention Division is doing a good job. I'm not sure if it's the public education programs are working, or we just have citizens that really take care of their property and are aware of fire safety rules and regulations. Either way, at the end of the day, we haven't had any major catastrophes in the city, and we're all happy for that reason. So the city is constantly involving us in all kinds of programs. And the members at Fire Station 34 are very proactive with many of those engagements, so to speak. And sometimes they tell us, the management, about what's going on in the city before we even find out about it. So that's not the case at every single fire station. I think that shows that collaborative effort between the city and the fire station. They're really entwined in what we're doing together. Some of those things over the course of the last year, National Night Out, we were there. We have participated in the food bank operation, the Hawaiian Gardens Parade, the Bingo Club, moving Santa Claus for the children at Christmas. We've also been involved with and are available for extinguisher demonstrations at businesses and different organizations that could benefit from that. We also go by the local schools and can provide home safety, stop, drop, and roll programs, any kind of public education like that we can facilitate through the schools. We also entertain groups, whether it be from a church or from a school or from a homeowners association, to come by the fire station, see what we do, see how we do it, and we can provide information. At the same time, we can entertain the kids and they get a good day out of it. So there's a lot of cooperative efforts going on through all of these partnerships. And again, I can't say that that is the case with all the cities that we have contracts with. We have 58 contracts, and this one we have that connection, that collaborative partnership, and we're very happy to have that connection. And I want to thank the City of Hawaiian Gardens for including us on this presentation today.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we'll have our captain, James Wolak, and I can call him the new guy because he's actually been here less than I have. I've been here 9 months. He's been here 6? 5? All right, 5. So the new guy's going to come up and talk to us. So. Captain.
Buenos dias. My name is Jim Wallach, and I'm the very proud captain of Lakewood Station. I too am very happy to be here. We're a little bit more honest in the fire department. I can tell you that we are, my guys are definitely here for the free breakfast. I can state that with all sincerity. See if we can get this to work. If you were to ask me the state of public safety in Hawaiian Gardens, I would say it's very strong. And the reason it's strong is because of our partnership with the community, our partnership with this specific city council, our partnership with Mr. Hernandez, our partnerships with our brothers and sisters from the fire department, but certainly the most important one is with the community. And we'll talk about some of the things we are doing to strengthen that bond. Okay, today I'm going to talk about our Hawaiian Gardens public safety team, some statistics real quickly about what's going on, the trends in crime, some of our challenges, crime fighting technology that we're working on, and also, once again, our community relations. Here's a picture of our team in uniform. Not a real handsome group, but they're very hard workers. Okay, so the City Council at Hawaiian Gardens provide us with sufficient amount of patrol deputies. Our patrol deputies are the ones who answer your calls for service. They're the ones who unfortunately cite us periodically. They also take bad guys to jail. Now our special assignment team, on the other hand, which consists of 4 deputies and a sergeant, they do all sorts of things. Number one, they suppress crime. They go after our gangs. They serve search warrants. They go after parole and probationers, serving compliance search warrants at their houses. They go after targeted traffic enforcement, generally around our schools. And they also worry about quality of life issues. Quality of life issues such as the homeless issues we have here in Hawaiian Gardens, graffiti. Sometimes they'll go after houses that need to be abated. They do a range of things to make our community better. One of the most important things is our schools. Hawaiian Garden goes as the schools go, And we focus a lot of our attention at our 3 elementary schools and also our middle school. And also, we go out there and work with the community in terms of crime prevention and also education on narcotics, how to make yourself safer, how to make your home safer. All those things our special assignment team do, so they're very important. They do not receive calls for service, so they're free to do things that help the community. Okay, crime statistics. Now, crime statistics go back and forth. Good news, bad news. I can tell you that overall, over the past 15 years, it's been nothing short of a miracle what has occurred in Hawaiian Gardens. The crime rate has greatly decreased, and things at this point have never been better here in Hawaiian Gardens. I will tell you, we do have some challenges coming up, which I'll talk about, but let's just talk about the crime statistics so far this year. Okay, homicide. Knock on wood, we have not had a homicide in Hawaiian Gardens this year, which we are very thankful of. And that goes to our gang prevention. We have done a great job of interdicting some of the gangs we've had in the past year in Hawaiian Gardens. More importantly than the homicide rate, our gang assaults are down throughout the station at a rate of 75%. So we're very proud of that. And I'll talk about some of the reasons why that is in a second. No forcible rapes so far this year. Once again, great news. Our robberies are up a little bit, and let me tell you why. Back in January, we had a series of robberies committed by 3 gentlemen. They called them the surgical mask robbers. They were hitting fast food restaurants, had a very bad January. They were going up into the city of Lakewood. They were arrested by our team out in Long Beach, and since that time, our robberies are back on course. Auto theft. While most cities have had a huge increase in auto theft, Hawaiian Gardens has gone down, something we're very proud of. One of the challenges we have with auto theft is that we arrest somebody for stealing a car, they get very little time in jail, if any. And generally, they just put them on probation. We have to arrest them 2 or 3 times stealing cars before they get any significant time in jail. So that's a challenge with our other cities. Hawaiian Gardens is not having that issue. Our larceny thefts have decreased 14%. Aggravated assaults are up 34%. Now, I mentioned earlier that our gang assaults are down. One of the issues we're having is with domestic violence. And that is something that is very concerning. We're getting out information, trying to help people whenever we get called out to the scene of a domestic violence issue. We give them pamphlets, how they can get help, shelters, different ideas to assist them. But that is a problem, not only in Hawaiian Gardens, but throughout our 5 cities that we serve. And burglaries increased 48%. Big number, okay? I will tell you that the reason why the burglaries are up 48% is because our storage sheds have been hit. Okay, so we had a gentleman who was just arrested by our team 3 weeks ago. He had hit up to 12 storage units. Okay, so in each one of those storage units counts as a statistic in Hawaiian Gardens. Hawaiian Gardens doesn't have a big crime problem, so you have one guy that commits 12 burglaries at a storage unit, that bumps the number up very high. He's in custody now. We have not had that issue for the past 3 weeks. And most importantly, our overall Part 1 crimes are down for the year. As of July 31, we're down 2.5%. So far, so good this year in 2017. Okay, some of the challenges that we're facing is some of the prison reform amendments that have passed in California that are making our job more and more difficult. Proposition 47, which was passed in 2014, turned many felonies into misdemeanors. For example, if in the old days when you arrested somebody for carrying narcotics, whether it's PCP, heroin, cocaine, it was a felony. Now it's a misdemeanor, okay? And so what that means is that they are taken to the station, they are cited out out of the station because, unfortunately, in our county jails, we don't have room for misdemeanor suspects. So these folks are being arrested, getting right back out. It's the same thing with larceny. People can steal up to $899 worth of items from a store, and it's just a misdemeanor. That doesn't do us much good because, to me, $899 worth of merchandise is a lot of money. Some of these folks are taking advantage of this. There's one person in LA County that, since Proposition 47 was enacted, has been arrested 61 times. 61 times he's been arrested for Proposition 47 crimes. So they understand this. They understand that we're being very lenient to them, and that is a concern for us. Also, the prison realignment from 2011, where we let thousands of prisoners out of jail, and now they are here with us. They let out almost 20,000 prisoners. More than 9,000 of them have been rearrested, and they have been arrested. Those same folks have been arrested 24,000 times after they've been let out of jail. So a huge recidivism rate at 49%. So our rehabilitation efforts aren't quite as good as we would like. And as long as we continue passing these things, it's going to be more and more difficult, more challenging for us to keep these crime rates down. Okay, so what are we doing to go after the criminals and go after some of the crime we're having? Is we have to evolve technologically. And the city of Hawaiian Gardens is on the cutting edge of allowing us these type of resources. The ASAP vehicle, very important. It's the mounted cameras on our black and whites. They take pictures of vehicles in the front, in the back, cars that are coming in other lanes. And what they do is they track where that vehicle is, whether it has warrants, whether it's a stolen vehicle. And that has allowed us to make several very good arrests so far this year that we normally would not have gotten to. Generally speaking, if a vehicle is in front of a black and white, they punch the license plate into the computer, and it comes up if the car has warrants or stolen, or if it's a stolen vehicle. Now we're able to catch all the vehicles that are coming in every direction, and it allows us to track where they were and at what time. Because if let's say we had a burglary at a certain time, we can pinpoint what vehicles were in that area at the time. Very important. We also have the graffiti tracker. Graffiti is an issue in every city. It has greatly declined in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. I'd like to think partly because of this graffiti tracker. And what the graffiti tracker does is that when graffiti goes up, our public works unit is out there to quickly take it down. But before they do that, they snap a picture of it. And once again, that time stamps it, lets us know where it is. It goes into a database, which our detectives are allowed to look into, find out who's doing the graffiti, where they are, where it occurred. They work with the district attorney's office to bring these folks to justice. So once again, several good arrests coming from the graffiti tracker. So all this technology is very important to us. One thing that most all of our residents are concerned with is our response times. And I'm very proud to give you our numbers in Hawaiian Gardens. Let me just explain what this graph means. We have 3 different types of calls that come into the station. There's a routine call. Let's say you go to work, you come home and you see that your house has been burglarized. That would be a routine report call. Deputies come out there. Our rate is just over 30 or almost 32 minutes, which is far below the standard, which is 60 minutes throughout the county. You can see that our county-wide is under that 60-minute, but it's at 49 compared to 31 for Hawaiian Gardens. So that's excellent. Our priority calls, a priority call, for example, would be that maybe a domestic violence incident where the husband or wife has just left the location, a robbery that has just occurred, that would be a priority, and we're arriving at those calls in 8 minutes, which once again is lower than Lakewood Station as a whole, and also much lower than our county-wide numbers. And finally, emergent. Somebody has just gotten injured. There's a crime in progress. Anything where you see our deputies that are code 3 with their lights and sirens going, we get there in a little more than 3 minutes, which is outstanding when you compare it to our county-wide numbers, which are much greater. So response times are great. Obviously, it has something to do with the geographics of Hawaiian Gardens, 1 square mile, but our deputies are getting to the calls very quickly. And most importantly, what are we doing to work with the community? And I will talk about, number 1, our Neighborhood Watch program, which we're very excited about. That's something that Sergeant Macy has endeared himself to. He is out there. They meet every other Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month, and they get together, and we're asking people to help us because we cannot do it by ourselves. We ask them that when they see something that's out of line to call us, when they see somebody who doesn't belong, because the best ears and eyes are the residents themselves. They know who belongs, who doesn't belong, and we continue to emphasize that they call us before something happens, not afterwards. Our National Night Out, which was a big success, we were there with the fire department. It was just a night that we could get out there and talk to the folks, that we could interact with them, let them know what our services are, and it's been a big success here in Hawaiian Gardens. There's some pictures. The Red Ribbon Week, which we partner with the schools, tells about the dangers of drugs, why it's important if they're going to be successful to stay off drugs, and we kind of take a back seat to these schools, which do a great job of getting that word out, that they are Red Ribbon schools, and they have zero tolerance for drugs. And once again, we're proud that the City of Hawaiian Gardens has a Safe Community Month where we do a series of events that spotlight our crime prevention efforts, also our interdiction efforts, and mostly tell them all the things that we can provide through the Sheriff's Department. Oops. And finally, our Youth Activities League. We have Steve Ferreira here who runs that. We have more than 30 children that come there after school. They become involved in things such as basketball, soccer. They tutor them. They help them with their homework. And that's very important. That's something that the school or the city funds. We all know that these tax dollars are stretched thin. We realize that we just can't always do these extra effort items, but I will tell you that the Youth Activities League is something that's very important. One of my first things that I did here was, when I got to Lakewood, was I participated in the parade back in April, and the kids that came to our cars, they are all Youth Activities League kids, and they have a deep affection for Deputy Ferreira, and is incredibly successful. I will tell you that our goal is to double the amount of kids that come here after school. We are expanding some of our facilities there, and we are extremely excited about the future of the Youth Activities League. And there's his name and number there. If you have a child or know of a child that is looking for something to do after school, we urge you to contact Deputy Ferreira. And that's it. You know, the Sheriff's Department, we are the biggest Sheriff's Department in the country. We are very proud to contract with the City of Hawaiian Gardens. You have to understand, when you contract with the Sheriff's Department, you receive the full benefits of all of our resources, our homicide unit, our narcotics unit, our special victims unit, which help investigate crimes such as rape and child abuse. We have our forgery fraud unit that goes after cyber crimes. All of those things are at your disposal. They are in the City of Hawaiian Gardens on a daily basis, and we are very, very proud of the partnership we've had, and we look forward to a great 2017-2018. Thank you, and God bless.
Let's thank all of our speakers, please.
And also earlier, I missed two very important members of our team who can't be here today, but Councilmember Mayra Maravilla and Councilmember Mariana Rios. Let's give them a round of applause, please. And now it's time for our keynote speaker and my favorite mayor in the fiscal year 17-18 year. So welcome, Mayor Hank Trimble.
Thank you very much, everyone. On your program card, if you would just flip it around, and it shows Edgar, a man that was full of life, who had a great love for his community. He worked real well with our council and made us feel very welcome. He was a genuine man, untimely death. So I'd like to just bow our heads with one moment of silence in honor of Edgar. Thank you. Well, I'm excited to be here to present this State of the City to our community and our community partners. It's an honor to share where Hawaiian Garden has been and what we have planned for our future. I would like to thank once again and recognize our City Council for moving our city forward together. I'm proud to be part of the dedication and commitment that they have for this community. We all have different backgrounds and strengths, but when it comes to moving forward with the city, we become one in mind and at heart. And believe me, community, we have your best interest in our heart. I want to recognize our city manager, who is definitely a game changer. I want to thank all city employees for the work that you guys put in and women that you put in to make our city a safe place to live and to play. I want to thank the Garden Casino for all their support and for providing this breakfast here free of charge. Once again, you clapped too soon, because I was going to say that the Garden Casino is the largest employer in our city, and they give favor to residents of Hawaiian Gardens. We have a lot of people that are working there, and they have a higher quality of life because of the casino. I know when it was first opening up, there was a lot of rumors of all the bad things that could happen. Well, I'm proud to say none of them happened, but great things are happening from the Garden Casino. Once again, thank you very much. Now we can clap. I'd like to thank our commissioners, legislators, and community partners that were mentioned earlier. And now I will begin by introducing this video that shows where our city has been. I'm going to tell you about the greatest accomplishments that I feel the council has done in this past year. And the first thing is we got a new city manager who's knowledgeable in every department that we have. And along with him, he works real close with our new city attorney, who's knowledgeable on casino affairs and union affairs. We have a new HR director that's very knowledgeable in state laws that concern our employees. And we have a new executive secretary that reminds us of our meetings, and she just is on every council and shows us a lot of respect, and we're thankful for that.
Moving forward to me means many things, but what it really highlights is how as a city council we're coming together to really execute. Just recently we passed a 2-year budget, which we're all very proud of.
I believe to the City Council's leadership, a focused, accountable, and dedicated staff, and working with our community partners, we can all work as a team to improve the overall quality of life in the city.
The Department of Public Works is dedicated to the ongoing preservation and maintenance of the city's right-of-ways, streets, parks, and facilities. This is achieved through programs such as the Community Block Cleanup, where 40-yard bins are placed on the residential streets, so city residents can dispose of large items for free.
Our major accomplishments this year, in my view, are the city cleanups. My priority is the resident concerns, and so if our streets are clean, if the refuse is cleared, such as mattresses, sofas that we often see in our city are cleared out, I believe that the residents' needs are being met.
Additionally, the Graffiti Hotline program provides means for the abatement of graffiti throughout the city, which includes streets, sidewalks, parks, alleys, and public structures. With the landscaping of parks, medians, and public right-of-ways, street sweeping, and minor road repairs, pedestrians and motorists are able to commute throughout the city with ease in an aesthetically pleasing environment. You will often see Public Works in the field carrying out assignments, assisting with setups and support for special events, responding to urgent matters, and addressing reported concerns.
The Community Development Department is responsible for the physical development of the city. We basically review all private and public projects through our various divisions: planning, building, housing, and engineering.
We have fixed many of our streets with new slurry sealing. We have constructed bus terminals here.
In doing so, we've also upgraded sidewalks and upgraded handicap ramps at various locations. But if I was to describe one unique program that stands out in our community, is that we offer a very generous commercial sign program that targets small businesses and offers them a reduction of 75% of the cost of the sign, or improvements up to $5,000.
I'm so grateful for my fellow council members who have joined me in investing in our city's beautification program. You see the before and after pictures of the amazing changes that are happening to many of our residents, houses that are being improved, fences that are being upgraded. And so I would love that we can continue that program that we've had for the past 3 years.
Another one of our major projects is getting together with the Hawaiian Gardens Casino to move forward so that, of course, the more finances they get, the more we get. So that's very important for us to work with the casino.
We've also gotten other businesses to remodel or refurbish existing establishments. For example, McDonald's did a complete remodel of the existing facility. The food bank bought a piece of property and renovated a building that had been vacant for so many years. The storage facility next to the fire department also remodeled their facility. We have a new tenant, Wingstop. Hawaiian Gardens is a business-friendly city. We have a community development department where you can just come to the counter and obtain a business license, get your various entitlements and permits, and go on your way out.
The Human Services Department takes great pride in providing quality recreation and social services to the community. Programs are available to residents of all ages, from youth to adults and seniors. Services such as transportation, where we transport resident seniors to excursions, daily errands, and appointments. We also provide transportation to youth for sporting events and excursions. Our senior activities consist of celebrations, special interest classes, and a daily lunch program. We have beautiful parks and facilities where we host special events, sports, and various recreational activities. Our special interest classes have grown to include Zumba, yoga, karate, ballet folklorico, computers, and theater arts. The Social Services Division provides resources, programs, and information, as well as an alternative to gang membership program. We provide youth, mini, and adult sports such as flag football, volleyball, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, and track. Our department's most visible service are the numerous special events the city hosts. Events like the Parade and Carnival, Independence Day, the Scholarship Program, Miss Hawaiian Gardens, Student Government Day, and the Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
We continue to make great strides in meeting our motto, our youth, our future. I am very proud of our students at all of our local schools that have demonstrated our investment in their achievements at the state level, at the local level, competing with other district students and being recognized for them.
The Public Safety Department is committed to developing and managing programs that enhance safety in our community.
We have accomplished the grand opening of the Safety Center, which we had a nice audience there.
Our friendly staff and sheriff's deputies are available at the Safety Center to meet with residents and businesses about law enforcement concerns. This year, our neighborhood safety group has grown in membership and continues to meet monthly to promote education and crime prevention.
I am glad that as a council we continue to work with our law enforcement to continue bettering our city and the safety of our residents. Where we have our partnership with our community events, where children are able to get on helicopters, pet police dogs, get on police vehicles, and also that our residents are able to continue to contact our law enforcement.
Public safety education is promoted throughout the year with special events that engage our community. Hundreds of residents joined in for this year's National Night Out celebration by participating in a community parade from City Hall, ending at Clarkdale Park with a block party and barbecue.
What I call moving forward together is our city's progress due to the hard work and the combined efforts of people who care. It's been my privilege to participate with those people, both from within and without our community, to make Hawaiian Gardens a better place to live and to raise our families. Many things have changed for the good because people have stood up and worked together for those changes. Our city's spending, government transparency, law enforcement, the gang injunction removal process, the establishment of the mayor's prayer breakfast, and even the state of the city. And then the Homeless Coalition, just to name a few. The Homeless Coalition is a great focus to make my point of moving forward together. Jesse was a homeless alcoholic in our city for 15 years, but because of the combined efforts of the coalition and God's intervention in Jesse's life, he is now a new man. He's no longer on the streets, but in a home. He has been clean and sober for over a year. He is actively involved in help groups and receiving counseling. He is also involved in a local church, and in his own words, he is rediscovering himself and his worth more and more every day. That is moving forward together, and together we can make a difference in people's lives and in the life of our city.
I'm very proud of our city council. We are 5 elected officials elected by our city residents. We all have 5 very different personalities, but one thing that brings us together are important city concerns. When the city needs a decision, we come together as a group and we make that decision. And we have accomplished a lot since we've been together, and there's much more to come. And I'm excited to what's about to happen. Thank you very much. We are a city moving forward together. And as we move forward, we're discovering new ways to make our community a safer place and a higher quality of life for our residents. Now I want to spend some time to talk about how the City Council and I are coming together to make the entire city a better place in this next upcoming year. A very basic but important way we're going to do this is by adopting a balanced and fiscally responsible budget. The budget that the council has adopted sets the plan for the city and for its staff to follow. We executed a very thorough budget process where we were able to make some tough but necessary cuts. But these cuts will improve our community. I'm confident that you will see that we have a great plan to improve Hawaiian Gardens' quality of life in this upcoming year. We continue to make annual contributions to pay down the city's retiree health care liability. Since establishing a trust for retiree health care benefits, the city has contributed generously toward paying down this unfunded liability. To view our adopted budget, you could turn to our website, which gives you great detail. Our budget outlines our priorities for the community and pays for the many programs and services that we will be highlighting. Let it be known, as you have heard from our captain, that Hawaiian Gardens is a safe community and is always looking for ways to improve. We have challenges. We have a jail system that is releasing low-level offenders in a very rapid rate. But we have a program that's in place right now that offers ex-offenders job training, job placement, room and board, tattoo removal, gang injunction removal, and criminal record expungement. We are committed to leave no one behind that is willing to work with us so the city can move forward together. Key public safety efforts include increased law enforcement when it comes to speeding and traffic violations. Our budget outlines the City Council continuously makes efforts to improve our relationship and our service that we receive from our Sheriff Department. We want our community to be safe and to feel safe. Council has budgeted for a public safety position that will work with the Sheriff Department. This unit will only address public safety concerns, and they will stay in our neighborhood looking for double parking, red curb parking, and they will make our city a safer community. We recently held a re-grand opening, as you've seen, with our Public Safety Center, and what's great about this is we did it without increasing the city's budget. We also added more cameras citywide. The city is committed to maintaining our infrastructure. The city has invested more money into our streets and sidewalks, combined with our county and state finances. And with this additional funding from our county and state programs, you will see great improvements in our streets, sidewalks, signage, and our lights. We are also committed to taking care of our parkways and trees. This upcoming year, we have money available that will replace trees that are doing damage to gutters, sidewalks, fences, and our residents' properties. The city has wonderful parks and community. Our community takes advantage of these parks. This upcoming year, we will begin the process of improving and beautifying our parks. This upcoming year, you will see our street reconstruction, including street repaving, slurry seal, medium grades, upgrades, sidewalks, our traffic signals. We added more community block cleanups. This is a very successful program that allows our community to clean up and be responsible for their own yards. We have also included more bulky item pickups, which is a great problem in our city. So we're asking the city to work with us. When we plan these bulky item pickups, please have your bulky items out that day. We should have a pride in our community, and that includes keeping it clean and taking care of our responsibilities. We also make great efforts to clean up graffiti citywide. Again, we have great pride in our community. But there's still work to be done, so the City Council and I will continue to fight for our residents and speak with whomever and go to wherever we have to do so. As an example, I want to recognize Supervisor Janice Hahn's efforts to get the City of Hawaiian Gardens additional monies from Measure M. She was also in our corner when I spoke before the Metro Board in support of her legislation. We also appreciate our local legislators, Speaker Anthony Rendon and Senator Tony Mendoza, who are helping our residents receive monies we need to maintain our streets and our parks. Truly, Speaker Anthony Rendon, Senator Tony Mendoza, Supervisor Janice Hahn are friends to the City of Hawaiian Gardens. I want to highlight some partners we have with nonprofit groups that provide our residents of the city with their service. In collaboration with the MAOF and Clean Slate Incorporated, we provide daycare and tattoo removal, for both these services are critical to the folks that need them. We are in an interview process to select a city of commerce. The goal is to partner with our businesses and provide them with opportunities and resources for success. We just began negotiations to partner with Bill Cinco from the Community Family Guidance Center. They will provide much needed psychiatric service for our community's youth and their family. Finally, we are proud to welcome the new ownership and management team of our former Hawaiian Gardens Hospital. It will be good to have emergency medical services in Hawaiian Gardens once again. And can we give a round of applause for our hospital? Because you know what? They have changed the inside, they have changed the outside. It's going to be a whole new establishment in excellence to serve the city of Hawaiian Gardens, and I'm very proud to have them aboard. One of the ways we can improve our community is by having good development standards and assisting in private and public projects. We want to provide programs and projects that preserve our neighborhood and enhance the quality of life for the residents and businesses of our community. We committed resources to give our businesses and nonprofits the opportunity to improve the look and marketability of their business. The City Sign Program is one of the ways that we assist our local business. Next, we'll see big improvement for our residents and the business community. The Carson Street Rehab Project that is currently under construction will rebrand the boulevard and give it a whole new look. We will have new signage, decorative stones, pavers, and new landscaping. This will be a huge transformation. We know that the community will appreciate the look and hope our biggest employer in the city, the Garden Casino, will also benefit from the project. Other projects that are currently under design are the Clarkdale Park remodelization project and the related splash pad improvements. This project calls for the removal of metal jumps and ramps and to be replaced with concrete ramps and jumps. The best thing about this project is that we had the skaters themselves be involved in the design of the park, which gives them a sense of ownership. Another project under design is a new shade structure at Leeware Park, along with new security cameras throughout the park and the Helen Rosa Center. Some other notable programs we have for our community that we'd like to promote is the residential rehab program, which allows low-income residents to apply for grants to repair deteriorated roofs, stucco, window, fencing, and landscaping. We look forward to finding ways to work with our business community and to bring new improved services and dining opportunities for our community. The following highlights some of those new and remodeled projects. Remember, $1 spent in Hawaiian Gardens is an investment in your community. I feel that one of our unique components of our community is that we can all be very proud of the quality of life that the city provides. In recreation and park services, you will see a new department brochure that will be mailed directly to your homes describing all the great services and programs that our city has. We are also going to upgrade a registration software to make it easier for residents to register for our programs. We are adding 2 starting blocks for our swimming pool to give swimmers in our community a better experience for future competitions. And in conclusion, thank you for making the time to be here this morning, and thank you for being an important part of what makes this city move forward together. With that, I will turn it right back over to our city manager. I want to thank you once again for for being here. And let's give the mayor a round of applause. It was too quiet.
I appreciate your patience. Thank you for coming out today. Have a wonderful day.